Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. This evening's topic: mental and psychological issues are the root cause for failed communities. Mental and psychological health issues are the root cause for failed communities. Let's start off with the African American community. The African American community has been failing ever since Lyndon B. Johnson. He instituted his Great Society program. Now, when we look at the African American community, what do you see? Well, you see churches on every corner, liquor stores, check cashing places, beauty supply stores, greasy Asian or Chinese places, fried chicken places, check cashing places, single mothers, gang members, violence, drugs, poverty, bad public school system, public housing, and a lot of this public housing is still in bad shape, which that could also cause health problems as well. In some of the areas, the sanitation is bad. Now, when you look at poverty, you look at violence, they're all social issues. But where are these social issues coming from? Well, in the African American community, they're coming from the mental issues that we have. See, there are a number of YouTubers who are talking about the ratchetness or the attitudes. But that's not the root cause. That's just the problem at the surface. See, when you dig deep, you're going to find out that we as African Americans have a lot of mental health issues. Where do they come from again? No family structure. And if we had a family structure, what is involved in that family structure? Incest, homosexuality. I did a video the other day that talked about STDs, where they came from. A lot of the brothers, believe it or not, 40% of the African American population is incarcerated. And what happens, they come out of prison, they end up engaging in sexual relations or sexual contact with African American women. And this is where the statistic of 91% of African American women who engage in sex with men have an STD. Now, this was from the CDC. If you look at the statistic, you'll find out it's been the black men in jail. Black people, we have sexual addictions. We don't know when to keep our penises and our legs closed. We're not looking at the consequences of the sexually transmitted diseases. But a lot of us have some deep-seated issues. Health-wise, we have an obesity rate that's high because of all the fast food restaurants that are in the black community. If you go into some of these urban areas, I live here in Portage, Indiana. You go over there to Gary. In the African American section, what do you see over there? See a Church's Chicken, a Rally's, a McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, a Taco Bell. You don't see anything like a Whole Foods Market. Well, obesity is a way to kill African Americans. And I believe that all these fast food restaurants in the African American community are all put there by design for gentrification purposes, to rid the community of all African American people so the white man can come and take that land and build high rent condos to keep us from moving in those communities. Now, this goes under poverty as well. African Americans, poverty problem, lack of education creates a systemic problem with mental health issues, such as bipolarism, schizophrenia, health issues such as high blood pressure, diabetes. But this is just not all about the African American community. See it in the white communities as well, because I live here in Portage, Indiana, and in Portage on US Route 6 and Willow Creek Road, what do I see? McDonald's, Taco Bell, the same thing. But with that being said, do you think that some of the food that we're eating is causing some of these mental issues? The preservatives? I know in Cheerios, they found phosphate. That's why I don't eat Cheerios. But that being said, the reason why I'm talking about the root cause issues, that's because they're taking down all of the communities. This is why the violence is high. Murder suicides are high. There are enough people out there who have disorders such as BPD, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, narcissism. There's a lot of sociopathic behavior going on. Then you get into sex addictions, substance abuse, eating disorders. Then you have diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease. Then you get into the social problems as well, such as poverty, lack of education, and lack of resources to build a community. And that's any community. But why is this happening? It is happening because of lack of education. And there are a number of us who will not admit, and particularly the African American community, I can say, we have too much pride to admit that we actually have problems. We believe that mental health issues are white people's problems. With all the white folk out there and their shenanigans going on with their murder suicides, one thing I can say about a number of them, they do get help. Now, the help is only beneficial if you utilize it correctly. But us in the African American community, we always go about life like nothing happened. There's a lot of PTSD in our community because of all the violence. There's a lot of PTSD in our community because of all the rapes that are going on. Nobody talks about it. The incest, the homosexuality, again, that goes on in the African American community. But you also have it in the Caucasian community. In fact, it's the poor communities that have a number of mental issues. But you also have your top level executives as well who are on drugs and alcohol. And you also have abuse is very high. A lot of emotional disorders destroy communities as well. Stress from work, different anxiety issues, anger. Now, that being said, what are we going to do to solve these issues? The way to solve the issues is you get help. Help from a counselor, friends and family. There are some medicines, but I just believe that we are too over-medicated, and one must understand that too much medicine can interfere with medicines that one is taking for other issues such as high blood pressure. They will interfere with each other. Side effects can be caused. And if you deal with any type of erectile dysfunction and lack of testosterone, that's because a number of males have diabetes, high blood pressure. You can't function like you used to. Your sex life is dead. The ladies, dry vaginas. Well, all these issues take away from successful communities. But I do these videos as the mental health issues keep coming into place. You look at the kids out here today. These kids are going through a lot of stress. And it seems to me that nobody wants to help the children out. But this country is going to continue to go down the drain if the mental health issues aren't studied and actually solved. Now, one has to understand that obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease can be genetic. You have to go back into your family background to look at who in the past had these issues and what did they die from. But looking at behaviors such as sociopathic behavior, narcissistic behavior, schizophrenic behavior, bipolar behavior, these are very dangerous disorders because people with these mental health issues are going to hurt themselves and other people. If you find out that somebody has a disorder, try to get them help. Because the only way we're going to save any community, that's black, white, Hispanic, because it takes all the forces to make this country work. Now, of course, African Americans have gone through the most hell from 400 years of slavery until today. And with African Americans, a number of us don't even have the resources to get help, but we can get help. There are free clinics out there that will assist us. We just have to want the help. But I'm doing this video just to give a short overview of some of the mental health issues that are destroying our country. And I want everybody to become educated. Because you have normal people walking around who are your bosses, your mothers, your fathers, your teachers who have mental disorders. You may never see it, but there is always that one time that you will find out what a bipolar disorder is when somebody switches on and off from having a normal behavior to becoming a manic depressant. That happens. These orders or disorders are real, and it can lead to death. And I want to keep emphasizing that all these issues connect to health issues, such as the diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers out there. So I want everybody to do yourselves a favor. Get educated. The more you know about mental health issues and psychological health issues, the better it is going to be for you, and you'll be able to help save your own community. Because if you don't, not just the communities, but the country will fail. And it's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. You can tune into the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. This weekend's topic, I'm going to talk about schizophrenia. I talked about PTSD last week. It was a good topic. If you want to visit or revisit that show, it is archived. It is on my Facebook page, and it is also under the 411 Talk Zone radio show on Blog Talk Radio. I urge everybody to listen to some of these radio shows because the information is a little bit more detailed that I give you than I do on YouTube. But if you want to get on the show, hit number 1 to get in the queue. And the guest calling number is 215-383-5785. And if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I don't engage in debating, controversy, or emotional issues, nor do I participate in drama and unnecessary bickering. It's counterproductive. This channel is for educational purposes only. My job is to give you the information from a realistic perspective that is positive, because the real world is challenging. And if you don't have the education, you're going to struggle. Like I said, the real world is a tough place to live in, particularly this day and age. So remember, I keep everything realistic but positive because knowledge is power. Also, if you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to talk about or shout out on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other and have a wonderful and blessed evening.